Hello, welcome to Scratch 3D Printing. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a dovetail joint like this, that it goes in smoothly and locks in at the end with custom support. Let's scratch today's topic. This is called a sliding dovetail. First of all, I'm going to show you the feature of the dovetail joint that I have made here. Then I'm going to show you how to do it on Fusion 360 so that you can do it for yourself. But before we continue this, I just want to show you that I made this custom support right here for the socket. This can be called the socket or the groove, whatever it is. I did more research on dovetail joint, and you can kind of call this whatever you want, a socket, a groove, or whatever. But this is a custom support for 3D printing, and all you need to do is just push it in like that. It's gonna break, and then you just take it out. Let's just do it for the rest. Push it in, it breaks, and then you just fold it, and this will come off very easily, just like that. It's not the cleanest because of the material. This is PLA, and for whatever reason, the PLA here is kind of flexible, so this is the result of this. But this can easily be cleaned up with a deburring tool. You can just lightly use the deburring tool, and it's gonna get rid of all the leftover filament. With this, you can slide in the dovetail joint very easily, and the socket at the back here has a tight tolerance so that it can click in like that, and it's not gonna fall out, and you have yourself a perfect dovetail joint right here. Okay, enough showing of the model. Let me show you how I do it on Fusion 360 so that you can do it for yourself as well. We are in Fusion 360, and I'm gonna show you how I make my dovetail joint. First of all, I'm gonna create a sketch right here. I'm gonna be making a 20 by 50 millimeter. You can do however big, however small your model is, but for this example, I'm gonna do 20 by 50. The next thing I'm gonna be doing is find the midpoint, which I can do by seeing this triangle in the middle here. So right here, I'm gonna create a construction line, 10 millimeter to the left. Then I'm gonna draw another line down here, 10 millimeter by 45 degree. Once I have this, I'm gonna go ahead and draw my midpoint line here. So I'm gonna draw a construction line right there. And I'm just gonna connect this in the middle. And as you can see right here, there's a square right here. It's a 90-degree angle right there. So we're just gonna click. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna select these two lines here, go to the top, click mirror, select the mirror line, the middle line right there. But it looks like 45 degree, maybe a little bit too angle-ish. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna change the angle to 55 degree. 55 degree looks a little bit better to me, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Usually it's like 5 to 15 degrees in like woodworking, but for 3D printing, 45 to 55 degree is good enough. Once I have this, I'm gonna click finish sketch. Then I'm gonna extrude this by 30 millimeter. Just like that. And we have our base, look at that. We have our socket or the groove made already. So now I'm gonna be making my tail on top of this. So I'm gonna have a front view of this. Now I'm gonna make another sketch at the front here of the model. Once I have this, I'm gonna click this line right here, just the top line. Then I'm gonna offset this by clicking O on my keyboard. I'm gonna offset this by 0.2 millimeters. 0.2 is good enough for most 3D printers, but it depends on the 3D printers and the setting you use. So 0.2, 0.3 is gonna be fine for 3D printing. Once I have that, I'm gonna create another rectangle. So by clicking R on the keyboard, I have this rectangle, and I'm going to be doing the same thing, 20 by 50 millimeters. And if we look at this line, you can see that I can drag them. So in order to make this locked to the line, I'm just gonna drag this circle to the line, and you can see that there's a square, means that it's locking together, so you can't move that. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side so that it's just locked in there, and I know 100% that it's gonna be there. Once I have this, I'm gonna click finish sketch. Then I'm just gonna extrude the top part and the tail part like that. I'm gonna extrude all the way through, just like that. And if you are just making a simple sliding dovetail joint, then this is basically it. You have made your dovetail joint. But I'm gonna take it to the next step and make sure that these two pieces are locked in together really nicely for different application and stuff like that. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the top part. Then I'm just going to work on the groove or socket part right here. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding a back end over here so that the sliding part comes and then hit it so that it's stuck in there. Because with this, it can slide back and forth. It can slide out and it does not have anything to lock into. So it can slide back and forth. So I'm going to make another sketch here. And this is a really simple sketch. Just connect these lines and you just have this. So I'm going to extrude this by about 2 millimeters should be good enough. So that's what I'm going to do so that it has this back end to stop the dovetail from going through. But with this, I also have to make another sketch on the dovetail piece, which I'll be doing from the back as well, and also connect this line. Once I did that, I will go ahead and extrude this by -2 millimeters just to offset this right here. To see the inside, we're going to go to inspect, section analysis. Then we're just going to select that, and just like that, we will just look at this. It will come and then stop right here with clearance for both pieces. Once we have this, I'm going to go ahead and fillet the top part here just for now by 0.5 millimeter. Then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make a sketch at the back here. And for this, you can see that my fillet has created this point here. So that's a really good thing. I'm going to go ahead and make a line from that point to the other side like this. And then from this, I will select this line, and this line, do an offset of -0.15 millimeter. And I will extend this line all the way up so that I will have two different sketches like this. Once this is done, I'm going to go ahead and extrude the outer right there. I'm going to extrude this by 5 millimeter. You can do longer, you can do 10 or whatever you want, but 5 is going to be good enough for me. This will be the tighter tolerance so that the tail slides in and then locks in at the back here. But in order to make this move, we will have to go ahead and chamfer this, but I will do that later. Once we have this, I'm going to go ahead and make the custom support for this. To do that, I'm going to view the front and then make a sketch at the front here. And I'm gonna flip this like this because I work better like this. Okay, so once I'm in the sketch, I'm gonna go ahead and find the circle here. Then I'm gonna do a 0.25 millimeter like that. Same thing with the other side, 0.25 millimeters. Once I have that, I'm gonna go to the other side and find this circle as well, 0.25 like that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and make my line all the way up. Same thing with the other side. Draw two lines like that so that I have this part right here. Once I have this part, I'm gonna go ahead and just select this line here. Click O for offset. I'm gonna offset this by 0.3 just so that we have more clearance. And then go to the top, do the same thing, offset by 0.3. And we are just gonna extrude this piece right here. So I'm gonna extrude that along with the bottom. Let's get a different angle. For this, I'm gonna extrude this by 0.4 millimeter or -0.4 millimeter. And go to the box here. Don't make it join. You want it to be as new body. Click OK. And now we have this tiny piece. So once we have this tiny piece, you want to go ahead to the create, go down to pattern online, and then you want to select that and this. You want to select those two tiny support pieces. Once we have that, let's just go ahead and click this line. That's the line that we're gonna extrude this on. You don't want to extend this all the way like this because it's gonna get stuck with the model. You want to have a clearance, something like that. You can just eyeball it. And then we're gonna increase this, making sure that all of them are pretty much the same angle, something like that. Click OK, and we have our custom support made. Because this point right here is a 90-degree point. So if you are 3D printing, it's gonna print. Then right here, it's gonna extrude here, but it's just gonna ooze down. So with this, you have support. You can see that on the left-hand side, we have all these body, but don't worry about it. Just go ahead and hide everything. Go back to your previous sketch, open the sketch, And now we want to extrude the middle part here all the way to the end of the tiny support. You do not want to extrude to this point. You want to only extrude to the end of the tiny piece. And this time we can do join. So once we do join like that, we can go back and open our body, and we only have 3 body now. So once we have this, we can go ahead and hide the sketch. I'm going to go to modify, combine, and combine these 2 pieces as one piece, just like that. So now we have made our socket with the custom support. At this time, we are pretty much done with this model. All we need to do now is just fillet everything. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and fillet all the corners there just to make sure that they're not sharp. By 3 millimeters, it's totally fine. Then for the top and bottom part, I'm gonna do the chamfer. I'm gonna chamfer this just by 1 millimeter, just like that. I'm gonna hide the dovetail, and now I'm gonna go ahead and fillet these as well so that it will be smoother when you are putting these 2 pieces together. Let's just do 0.5 millimeter. And like I said, in order to make this slide smoothly, you want to go to chamfer and then just click on the top part right here, and then we can chamfer this by 0.15 or just 0.125, 0.13, 0.14, 0.15. Okay, we can do this by 0.14. And to make this a little bit more smooth, I'm going to go to the type, distant, and angle, and I'm just going to do like a 65 degree so that it just push a little bit further back, like that. And now the piece should slide smoothly back and forth. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this, open up the other body. Then I'm going to do the same thing and just fillet these by 0.5 also. Look at that, we have made our dovetail joint with custom support and it locked at the back here. So we are pretty much done. All you need to do now is just export this and 3D print this out. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this style? And are you able to make it and follow my tutorial? As shoes out there, it isn't the hardest thing to do. The most difficult part of this, I think it's gonna be the custom support, because every single 3D printer is different. I print this using FlashForge Creator 5 and the prints came out nice. Every 3D printer is gonna be a little bit different, and the slicer setting is gonna be a little bit different for each individual and 3D printer. So you might have to mess around with the numbers of the custom support here, the clearance, the size, and stuff like that. You might have to mess around with that. It's not going to be the same thing for every single model, but once you do a couple of these, it will be easier to do the next one and to make adjustment for your parts, the one that you are using. Some of you might say that, why can't I just print this model like this, right? Because doing this, you don't need any support. That is true, but let's just say that you have a really tall model and the dovetail joint is like at the very top, so the model is like this tall and the dovetail joint is at the top. The box is gonna go sideways and then you will have like a bunch of support. So you want the box to be upright with the dovetail joint like this. And with that, you can generate support, but if your box is like really tall, then the support has to be generated from the base and go all the way up and just support this little teeny tiny piece. And that is gonna waste a bunch of materials. With this, you are basically just wasting like maybe 1 gram or like 1/2 grams of filament, and you don't need any support generated from the slicers. And that is the reason why I made the custom support for this dovetail joint. So hopefully this video will help you out, and my tutorial, hopefully it's getting better. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Let me know in the comments down below, how can I improve this, my videos, my tutorial, and stuff like that. Your comments help me a lot. I read all of them. So leave me a comment down below. And if you haven't yet become a member of the YouTube channel, it helps me tremendously. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep on 3D printing.